How to use eValue in Fintegrate. Before I show you the risk analysis and the risk profile and the questionnaire, I'll head towards the settings because this is where you can configure your use of eValue. So only the firm admins will be able to access that section and make changes. But with EV, you have a choice between 3 different risk scales, 1 to 5, 1 to 7, and 1 to 10, which you can choose, and you can see the amount of questions you get in each. You can also specify the risk score decimal precision. And you've got a few other options, such as some questions or answers you might want to see in the risk analysis section. And I'll explain what each one of these mean once I'm in the risk analysis. And then you can also change the risk description and typical asset allocation. So these are given by default by EV, but we give you the ability to modify them so it aligns your firm's approach to risk assessment more. And we do the same thing with the typical asset allocation. So here again, they are defaulted to EVs ones, and you will be able to see when these have been last updated at the bottom, but that will allow you to effectively change the typical asset allocation to better align with your firm's investment strategy. Once you're happy with all of the settings, you can then head towards create a brand new client or see an existing client. So if I go towards the Jones, for example, and go on their client dashboard, you will see that I've got the risk tolerance already populated. So I've got a few options here. So for the attitude to risk, I can send the questionnaire electronically, as well as the capacity for loss questionnaire. I've created a separate video that goes into a little bit more details. And I can also download the questionnaire they have completed or view the questionnaire and then potentially make any changes as I wish for my clients here. So once these have been completed, I am then able to start a new case, which will be using the risk tolerance score. So if I go into my drafted one and head towards the risk analysis, this is where you'll be able to specify the client objectives, the investment time horizon, as well as the required gross investment return in order for them to achieve their goals. So that's for you to populate based on what you've discussed with the clients. And the risk tolerance will be populated from the questionnaire. So that will be matching what the client has filled in. I said I would give a bit more specifications on the risk capacity, so that's for you again to decide. So that's the maximum loss that the client can sustain without compromising the goals that they might have spoken to you about. So that's for you to fill in, as well as the knowledge and experience. And once you've completed all of this, you've got that recommended risk profile score, which is something that you will decide along with your clients based on the total amount of risk they're willing to take. Once you have filled in all of the left-hand side, you are then being given the risk analysis summary. So in that instance, we've got that summary that indeed does just that, summarizes everything on the left-hand side. What I personally really like is the gross investment return. So that helps you manage the client's expectations if there is a crash, for example. So that's the type of things that can happen for someone who is a 7 out of 10 in my scenario. And we are being given the typical asset allocation. So I'm using EV's default ones here, but these would change if you had changed that in your settings. And you can take a look at a simplified view of equity versus fixed income. Once you've done all of this, you can download the risk analysis report along with any notes that you may have. So in that instance, so the risk analysis report here, I've downloaded it for you, but that summarizes everything that we've been through, along with the various graphics that we give you access to, as well as a disclaimer which you can change. Now, the second part of the video is around the policy analysis and the recommendation. So I've added a brand new policy, and I've also created a recommendation for that client. So for example, let's say they are invested in a SIP for 100K, and I want to do a rebalance or a fund switch, for example. So I could select that in here. And that will allow me to select a brand new investment that can match my client's goals a little bit more. So, for example, I'll do that in here. I'll manage this investment. And what this page will allow me to do is to take a look at the risk mapping of all the investments I have chosen to be part of my CIP to match my client's recommended risk profile. So, for example, in that case, I had something selected in here, but I will take you through the idea. So I'm a 7 out of 10, and I am investing between 16 and 20 years. And what the risk mapping is telling me is that all these portfolios from your CIP are a good match. I'm using portfolios as an example here, but you could have funds, you could create your own custom portfolios, and you could do some blending of MPSs or funds or custom portfolios. So typically here it's telling me that I could do a blending of the Vanguard life strategy. But in my case, I would say, well, maybe the aggressive is not a suitable solution anymore. I'm going to pick the Tatton Core Balanced as the brand new investment for my clients. And once you have selected this, you simply save your page and you are then able to proceed towards the analysis of the risk in that report, which is straight after the recommended portfolio table, where you can analyze the existing, where we were taking maybe too much risk for the goals we had for that client, and we can analyze each policy individually as well. Once you're happy with all your recommendation, I won't go through a full case today. We're focusing on the risk profile. You can download the report from the summary, and that allows you to pick and select the risk section you would like to print out, as well as download a PDF or Word report for your recommendation.